very early into my business, I was getting lots of requests from some of my favorite celebrities and favorite personalities, and a lot of them I actually declined. I declined
Okay.
because a lot of it was they wanted me to cancel on clients I already had in order
Mm,
to accommodate. I was not willing to cancel on my clients
right.
in order to do a celebrity. Your event or your appearance or yours no more important than my prom girl who only gets to have prom once, or my wedding client. My commitment, like my word is my bond.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of F5 Collective Presents Women in Business. Today, I am so excited that I get to have the beautiful and amazing Deja Blackwell here from DeyThaMUA. I love the MUA thing. Okay, so I got to tell you in a minute where I discovered all that and then saw yours, and I was like, I'm in the
It
know.
clicked.
It clicked. It clicked. Deja is in Chicago, but she works all over. So we're just going to get into it. Deja, I'm so glad to see you today.
I'm so
Welcome,
glad to
welcome,
see
welcome.
you. I'm so happy anytime I'm with you. Anytime we get to chit chat is my favorite time.
I love it. Well, I have to give a big shout out to Asia for introducing us because that was just so wonderful. And Asia, if you are ever watching this, thank you so much. And I just want to say, so how did this all start? So you're originally from Chicago,
Yep,
right?
born and raised.
Born and raised. And were you always interested in art as a kid, or how did all this kind of come about?
Yeah, so I've always been into art. Anything I could get my hands on that is creative, that gets my brain going, anything that I can be imaginative, solution based. My mom always tells this story about when I was a kid. I think I was maybe like 4, but I had like this little drawing on my shirt, and she saw me drawing. I was like sitting on the ground with some paper and like a crayon and drawing, and she's like, "What are you drawing?" And then it clicked to her, and she realized I was looking down at my shirt and drawing what I was seeing on my shirt on the paper. And she was like, "That is insane. Like, I've never seen a kid that age do that." So I think it was, honestly, I think it's a natural, organic thing. I've always been into art in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
And so when, obviously now I have a makeup business, a cosmetics line as well. So it kind of all started there. It started I've always been an artist through and through. Like that's just who I am.
Right,
Um, I enjoy art. I love art. I breathe art. It is everything. So honestly, being a makeup artist is honestly just an extension of that.
right, right. Now, do you have any siblings? Are you
I
one of?
do.
Okay,
I am the oldest of all of my siblings. On my mother's side, I have a little brother and a sister, and
mhm.
then on my dad's side, I have 3 brothers.
Right, right. Oh my gosh. Now, are is your family into art? I mean, is your family kind of an
You know
artsy
what's so
family, or?
crazy? My mom always talks about the fact that she does not have an artistic bone in her body. She's like, I could not draw a circle. So I don't know where you. My grandma enjoyed drawing. My father also enjoyed drawing. And my 2 little brothers, my 2 youngest little brothers,
Mhm.
they love art. So I
Yeah,
think, honestly, it might be a paternal thing. It might be a dad side
a
thing
dad
because
thing.
they seem to be very, very artistically inclined on that side. So maybe that's where it came from. But also my grandma on my mother's side was also artistic inclined. So maybe I think it just skipped over her. Maybe.
Yeah, and came to you. You
Yeah.
tapped into
I
it.
got
Yeah.
all of it. I got
Yes,
all of it.
now you went to Shy Arts,
I
and
did.
which is the public high school for the
Yes.
arts. Now, how did that come about? And was it that you went there for performing arts and then moved more into art, visual arts, or how did this all work
Linda, you
out?
know what's so crazy? I literally was just having a conversation with one of my friends about this. We had passed the school that I was going to attend in place of Shy Arts. It was actually an all-girls school.
Oh my gosh.
And so I auditioned and obviously I got in. Go to Shy Arts for a year. If after that year you are really set on not going and you would prefer to transfer to the other school, go ahead. My mom knows me. She knows her child. So she knew that wasn't going to happen, right? Um, put so many things in perspective. It gave me so many opportunities. I had like solo art exhibitions. I won awards. Like it really put me ahead of the game when it came to like my professional arts training at such a young age.
Wow. Now, for auditioning for this, what was your audition process like for Shy Arts?
So there was like an initial audition where you go and you like talk to some of the teachers. So I auditioned for visual arts. So I was a
Okay.
visual artist. There are different conservatories. Shy Arts has different conservatories. There is dance, there's theater, there's musical theater, um there is music where like you can be a vocalist or you can
Hmm.
play an instrument. There's visual arts. So they're just different conservatories. So I was in the visual arts conservatory. That's what I was auditioning for. And so the first is like you bring your portfolio. They wanted you to create a portfolio for this audition of like some of your drawings, your mixed media, like whatever it was that you were into. They would review it, look at your stuff, ask you about it, ask you like conceptually what you were thinking, like just talking to you about your art and just to get a feel for how you felt about it, what art felt like to you.
Hmm.
And then you would meet with some of the teachers, and then the next round would be kind of a similar process, but I think it was 2 or 3 rounds. So it was like whoever got through that first one, now we're doing it again, but in a slightly different way, or you may be meeting like more of the teachers. I think at one point they had us sit down and do um a drawing, like a
Hmm.
still life drawing, where a still life is like where they put different items or objects in front of you and you need to draw it in real time. So it was a process for sure. And then also being so young, right? Like there was so much pressure and I was like, oh my God, what if I don't get in? Like this is so
Right.
hard. They're not going to choose me. Like you have that imposter syndrome. Like there's no way. Like you're looking around and there's all these other kids who, coming from, I went to Walt Disney Magnet School for my grammar school, middle school, and
Wow.
it's a really good school, but it is not necessarily an art school. So
Hmm.
in that space, I was typically the best at what I did. I was the artistically inclined kid.
Hmm.
And so when you come from being the best in a space and now you're in a space where everyone's the best and everyone's very good at what they do, it's like a culture shock. Like it's a
Yeah.
very different experience in space. And so yeah, you get a little bit of imposter syndrome and you're like, oh my God, there's no way they're gonna choose me. Like all these kids are talented.
Yeah.
But it ended up working in my favor and it honestly changed my life forever.
Well, what's so interesting about that is because, you say that and it feels like what it does is it prepares you for what's going to happen in the real world when you take your art and it's going to be judged and it's going to be looked at as
Absolutely.
well. And so,
Absolutely.
that brings us to a really interesting moment, which is you started your business young.
I
I mean,
did.
you did. So, how did that come about? How did all of that prepare you for that? And how did that really come about?
I think that once I was plopped into a space where everyone did what I did, it gave me a sense of tenacity. Like I formed a sense of tenacity that I don't think I otherwise would have gained. Like it taught me to learn how to set myself apart. And also, I think it allowed me to figure out who I was very young. I think that that is an ebbing and flowing thing. You don't wake up one day and you're like, I know exactly who I am. Like it changes, it ebbs, it
Mhm.
flows. Every day looks different. But I think at a young age, it gave me a very different sense of security and confidence. And so, I started like navigating and exploring my femininity in college, and that's where like makeup kind of landed in my lap. This was the era of YouTube and YouTube
Mm.
tutorials, and this is like the kickstarting of like influencers and like social media. Um, yeah, like that whole social media, YouTube influencer, makeup guru, like that kind of space. And
Yeah.
so I started watching these YouTube videos and tutorials, and I was like, I could do that. Like, something felt like something was pulling me towards it. And I was like, that looks really fun to do. Like, I feel like I would really enjoy it. And it's a little something I could like just do for myself to kind of like explore. So I started doing my own makeup and I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed the expression and the freedom. Like, I could do any sort of print or look on my eyelids or change up my blush or do a special effects look that I've never done before. I had never done special effects before. I've done painting, sculpting, mixed media, those sorts of things. So all of those tools kind of
Came
helped
together.
me. Yeah, it came
Yeah.
together and it gave me, I feel like, a more intuitive like transition into the makeup world because it was art. Like it was like painting, it was like sculpting, it was like drawing. And those things came naturally to me. And so obviously once I started doing makeup, it just made sense. And so I was doing my own makeup for a while, and I would take little pictures and post them on social media, or I would do like little live tutorials on Facebook. Like that was a thing. And then it just started snowballing. Like it started snowballing into something that I didn't expect because, I was doing this for me. Like this was my
Hmm.
own little private thing that I like to do. And then my friends and family were like, "You're really good at this. Like, can you do my makeup? Can?" And I'm like, "I'm not a makeup artist. Like, I'll do it, but I'm like shaking in my boots because I've only ever done my own makeup. Like, I don't know. It's different when there's an expectation attached to it, right? Like,
Right, right.
when you're just doing it inherently and you're having fun and you can wipe it off and redo it and make mistakes and all the things." And so I was like, I don't know about that. Like, but I did, and here we are. Like, literally, that was the start of it all. It's so crazy. It was honestly a happy accident.
Wow. So how did it feel when you charged your first client? Like you
It
actually
was
charged your
insane.
first.
I I it felt so wrong. It felt so wrong. It felt so wrong because I'm like, why would anyone pay me to do their makeup? Like, why would, again, that imposter syndrome, right? Like, I think
Mhm.
we don't talk
Yeah.
enough about that. People that we see succeeding or that we think are so talented experience this quite often, artistically, honestly, too.
Yeah.
It is a very common feeling. I still experience it, and I've had accolades that people dream of that I dreamt of at one point, right? And I still
Mm.
sometimes feel it. So it was surreal charging my first client. And keep in mind, when I when I first started doing makeup, I was doing it out of my dorm room.
Whoa.
Yes, I was doing it out of my dorm room. Keep in mind, like the way that our room was set up, I had a suite mate. Her name was Jessica. Love her. Jessica is my girl. She is so sweet. Insane. That is a crazy thought to think I was literally doing people's makeup next to my bed where I sleep.
Wow. Wow.
Insane.
Because I've you've done tutorials for me, and to
Hmm.
think, and that's elaborate, and I can tell that you've always done it to that extent. Your makeup has always been with that much focus and that much attention to detail because you're an artist,
Thank
and I
you.
can't imagine in that small space. Good for
Yeah, and my
you.
room was tiny, so like we were very like this is an intimate like experience. You're next to my bed where I sleep every night. And they're like when I started actually taking clients, these are people I'd never met before that I'm like
Right.
inviting into my home. That's insane to think about. Like,
Yeah.
but that is how it started. And there was a like when I first started, there was this space in which I would cry. I would cry because I'm like, who's gonna pay me to do their makeup? Like
Mm.
who's going to like I have to find clientele now. And at that time I was working for DePaul's graduate admission office. That was my job. And so I had a job that I went to every day, and then when someone would randomly find me on social media by some weird chance, I would take clients here and there. When I first started, I would have like maybe one paying client a month, and I was
Mm.
doing makeup for $30. Insane. And so it was, again, it was not easy. I had to really really push through and really stay consistent. A lot of people ask me, how did you get to where you are? Or how do you like not give up, or how do you, and to be honest, it is choosing every day to be consistent. It's choosing every day to show up, because there are a lot of times in which I would show up but no one else would be there with me, right? Like,
Right.
you have to continue to do that even when things don't look promising, even when you're not having clientele, even when people are not paying attention to your social media posts, when you don't have engagement, when you feel, when you're having that imposter feeling, when you're feeling like this is not going to work out, I don't know what I thought, like, you have to push through it. And I think often about, what if I would have just given up?
Yeah.
Like, what if I would have been like, "Ugh, nobody's, what if I let those thoughts take over me and would have been like, hey, no one's gonna pay me to do their makeup, or this is not gonna become lucrative. Like, this is just something I do for fun," which is okay if that in its own right is what I wanted to do, right? But I
Hmm.
wanted this to be something that I could build on because I really enjoyed it. So my business, my job, it's lucrative, but it also is something I'm genuinely passionate about. Like, it's my baby. The
Right.
money is a bonus for me. Like,
Mm.
great, I can pay my bills and the things, and I can live a comfortable life, and but I love what I do, and I still love what I do. And so it did not start off glitz and glam, and it still isn't glitz and glam. It has its
Hmm.
moments, but it's I'm really proud of myself for not giving up. And so that is the thing I'd say, like, if you have something that you want to do or you're passionate about and you want to see through and you want to be fruitful, you have to stay consistent. Especially not even, but especially when it's hard. Like
Hmm.
those are the moments that I think are super pivotal, and what gets you to the next level is when you're continuing to do it even when it's hard and there feels like there's no end result in sight.
Right. Is there any sort of, I don't know, ritual or tool for yourself or anything that helps you to maintain consistency? Because I know that for me, a lot of times the thing that helps me a lot is to make sure I stay fresh, let's say with my writing or whatever, learning new things or something,
Yeah.
like kind of expanding my brain and my
Yeah.
heart a bit in it.
No,
But
I align with that. I think there are two things for me. One of them, one of my mottos is to always remain teachable. I don't know everything.
mhm.
And it doesn't matter if there's someone who's just starting makeup. It doesn't matter if it's someone who has 20 years on me. I can learn something from both of those people. I don't know everything, and I don't claim to know everything. Like, I want to always be teachable. I always want to soak things up. So I'm always trying new product or still watching YouTube videos or
Mm.
TikTok videos or seeing, what different techniques people are doing or hacks or tips or tricks. I still buy people's like different makeup artists. If I like a look they do or I like their technique, I'll buy their online classes and I'll pay my own money for it to learn, because I think that is what builds. I think of my art and my business and my makeup artistry as a collage. A lot of it is me, but a lot of it is little things I've taken here and there, and that is also that inherent artist thing that I
Yeah.
do, where I'm seeing things where I'm like, that's not really my vibe, but this is, and I want to take that and I want to mesh it with something that I already do and create something that is reflective or an extension of me.
Yeah.
So always remaining teachable, number one. And number two, my community, to be honest. My community, honestly, is what gave me the courage to quit my job. I've been doing makeup for 10 years. This year is my 10-year anniversary. I've been doing it for 10 years, but I quit my job after a year of doing it. And I've been doing this full time and sustaining my life and myself and my family since then, solely off of makeup. No other
Wow.
jobs, no 9 to 5, no, only my makeup. And I think that um my community, because when I was feeling that doubt or that imposter syndrome or like this is not going to become anything, they were like, no. Like, they're the ones who gave me the courage to quit my job. I was like, absolutely not. Quit my job. I know that if I show up to this place of work and I clock in, that I'm guaranteed a
Yeah.
paycheck. When you
Yeah.
become an entrepreneur, that is not the case. You work for every single dime, every dollar that you get, you work for it. And so that inconsistency was scary. It was terrifying, because what if I don't make anything in a month? What if I don't make anything at all? How will I eat? How will I pay my rent? But I took that leap of faith because of my community, and they're like, "No, you got it. I'm telling you, you have it. Do it, like, we believe in you."
So here you are.
So here I am.
Well, and here you are, not just as, Deja the makeup artist, but really Dey the MUA and, Shine by Day. I mean, the cosmetics. So how did you make that leap from that service person to also being a brand, to really building your brand?
It was hard. I think that it is a moment that a lot of people in the beauty industry or entrepreneurs in general, especially when it's a service-based, front-facing business, we all get to this point where we realize, hey, I'm not going to be able to stand on my feet for the rest of my life.
Mm.
There's only so many clients that I can take in a day, and there's only so much I can do. And so how can we work smarter and not harder, right? Like, how can we scale? How can we, like, these were questions that I was starting to come to, because yes, I was making the money from my clientele, right? But like, there has to be more to it than this, right?
Mhm.
Like, there has to be a way. I don't want to only make money. I want to share what I love about makeup and my craft and my creations with as many people as I possibly can. And so in that was why don't I make my own cosmetics? Like, why don't I make my own product? Because there's no limit to a product based business, right? There's no
Yep.
limit to that. And that way you're also able to share what you're creating with people all over the world, all over like everywhere. And so I decided who better to make makeup product than someone who uses it every day, right? Like I know what works, I know what I'm looking for, I know what feels good, I know what textures I'm requiring, I know what kind of payoff, I know what kind of longevity, like I know the things that I'm looking for in the products that I'm buying with my own money as a consumer. So why
Mm-hmm.
not create something of my own? And this
Right.
also was an extension of like thinking about legacy. I want to have something, right? Like I want to my talent that's in my hands, I can't give that to anybody. I can't share that with anybody. I can service based, but like that's stifling. That only, like I said, it only goes so far. So I started researching, figuring out I love lip gloss. Who doesn't love lip gloss? Everyone loves a good lip gloss. That's a great place to start. And so I was like, I want to create my own lip gloss, but I want it to be a little bit different. And so I was thinking about all of the things that I love or hate about a lip gloss. Do I love it to be sticky? Do I want it to be more moisturizing? Do I want it to be sheer? Do I want it to have color payoff? Like, what are the things that I'm looking for? And so I came out with my Shine by Day gloss toppers. That was the first product that I had ever come out with, and I was making these by hand. I was fulfilling orders. I was making the glosses by hand. I had done all of the research. I was doing FDA research on what things could be added, what things couldn't. And so
Mm-hmm.
everything that I've had to navigate, like legality, products like product distribution, create the creation of my product, learning how to do my taxes, like
Yeah.
everything that I'm
Inventory control and all of
inventory,
that.
like everything that I'm doing, overhead, cost analysis, like all of these things I had to learn on my own, and I'm on my laptop going. Keep in mind,
Wow.
I'm in college though, still, right? So I'm doing my schoolwork while also trying to create, or not even create because I created it, but manage a business. And now I'm also
Right.
trying to learn how to scale a business and create another business on top of it. Everyone
Wow.
was using them, family members, uncles, aunts, friends of friends, like all sorts of people were using these products. And I was like, okay, I think I really created something here. Like I again, it felt like another happy accident. Like yes, I was intentional about the research I was doing, but it was a coin toss, right? Like I could have
Yep.
created something that people absolutely were like, okay, it's another lip gloss or it's another like product someone's trying to sell, but it went really well. It got to a point though where I'm only one person and orders were coming through so crazy that I could not keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't, I'm like, this is becoming, I cannot balance being a service provider, an executive assistant, a CEO, and I can't balance all of these different titles and it's just me. At that time I had no assist, I had nothing, no infrastructure, no nothing. And so I gave it up a little bit and I
Mm-hmm.
stepped back and people were like, "Girl, where's the product? Where's the lip gloss? Like we're going to the website and we're not seeing anything. We're not seeing like what's going on, what's happening." And I took a step back. I didn't sell my glosses for maybe a couple years and then I was like, I miss it. Again, I keep going through these moments where I'm like, something's missing. Something's
Mm-hmm.
missing. And so I ended up connecting with a manufacturer to create a spin-off of the glosses that I was creating because I needed to work smarter and not harder. I still wanted it to be great product. I still wanted it to be reflective of me, but I also wanted it to be something new and fresh. And that's where my lip paints came into play.
Got it.
And these are still a great creamy formula, still very hydrating, still very moisturizing. But these were like a spinoff of my glosses I was making, but with a little more color payoff,
Mm-hmm.
hence the name lip paints. So they're a gloss finish, but they also have amazing color payoff. And it comes in a 5 different shades and people have really been enjoying them. I am at a point again where things kind of got out of hand and I'm like, okay, what do I do? We can't keep getting to this halt where we're realizing, okay, we need to
Right.
find like having a manufacturer took a lot of the weight off of my back because now I'm not creating all of these glosses by hand and I'm having them readily available for my clientele and for people who are purchasing online and those sorts of things. It helped a lot with making sure that I have inventory, like those things. But again, it has a mind of its own, and so I need a team that can like focus on that. And so that's actually something that I'm working on right now.
Right. Right.
But yeah,
Because is it all just you,
it
Deja,
is
that
it is all just me. I have an assist that works with me when I do like bridal and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But it is all me. It is all me. This is the part where you get, okay, I've already scaled in a certain way, but now we have to continue scaling. And so
Right.
that's where I'm at right now is learning how to expand, learning how to scale. I used to work from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. every
Mhm.
day doing
Mhm.
clients. And I realized that that was not sustainable. I was missing birthdays. I was missing holidays. I was missing special occasions because when you work in the beauty industry, typically people are booking you mostly on the weekends, right? Because that's
Yeah.
when everyone's
Yeah.
off of work and everyone has something to do. And on those major holidays, that's when you're making the most money because people this is the holidays everyone's celebrating, and so you're missing a lot of that.
Yeah.
You're not being able to go out on New Year's Eve. You are missing. I was missing my little brother's birthday because it was during prom season every year, and so
Mhm.
I realized it was a no go for me. After a few years of doing that, I realized something needed to change, and so I started limiting my hours, but I was able to do that because I had my cosmetics line and that was bringing in revenue. And I also started teaching classes, one on one classes, and that gave me multiple streams of revenue to be able to make up for those cut hours that I was, scaling back on because I wanted to be more present in my life and with my family. And like, yes, I was making money, but that wasn't it for me. Like
Yeah.
money isn't it for me. It's a necessity in the world we live in, but I wasn't happy. Like I felt successful, but I didn't feel happy. And those are
Yeah.
two very different things, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's our creativity. I sometimes feel like our creativity is like a well, and we if you're a very creative person, you can pull from that well, but sooner or later, if you're really all in, you have to refill that
You
well.
do.
I mean, it's or else what starts to come out of that creativity is not your heart so
It
much,
feel
and
it's almost disingenuous, right?
yeah,
Like it almost becomes performative. It almost becomes like I sometimes say and like to think of it as my representative takes over. That's
mm,
something me and my brother say often. I'm not here. My
yeah,
representative has taken over. And when you've been doing something for so long, that can happen
yeah,
because I can do someone's makeup in my sleep and my brain is totally off and I'm not even here with you. I'm not engaged. But the makeup is going to look great and you won't know the difference. But my heart is not there.
hmm,
And so I want my heart to be there always in a perfect world, but I need it to be there as much as it possibly can because that is genuine. That
right,
is what my art is about. That is what I want to give to people.
yeah. Well, so as you work with people, because you're a brand and still doing service, you have moved into a very unique and elite clientele, which is very,
Mhm.
very cool. And I'm curious how that came about for you and how you navigate that personal touch. You have the personal and the professional, and you have to deal with different personalities. How'd that come about, and how do you deal through that?
So I think an experience that a lot of beauty professionals get is a lot of opportunities come to you as they do, right? People are
Mhm.
searching for makeup artists, people are searching for service providers, and so you'll sometimes get people reach out or management reach out and be like, "Hey, we want you to do makeup for this talent or this person." And you either accept or decline. And
Mhm.
so I actually very early into my business, I was getting lots of requests from some of my favorite celebrities and favorite personalities, and a lot of them I actually declined. I declined
Okay.
because a lot of it was they wanted me to cancel on clients I already
Um,
had in order
mm,
to accommodate, or in our communications, it didn't feel like it aligned or it didn't feel respectful. And that is something that I'm very, very, very firm about. And I feel like going back to what we talked about that sureness and learning yourself and learning your non-negotiables and being in the art world or in a world in which there's exchange, right? I'm giving you my art for whatever, an award, or giving you my art for exposure, or giving you my art for payment, or whatever it is. Early on, I had that experience, and so I knew what felt okay to me and what didn't. And a lot of the times in those spaces, it didn't. I was not willing to cancel on my clients
Right.
in order to do a celebrity. Like, I appreciate you reaching out and I appreciate you like seeing my work and wanting to work with me, but anybody who is a client of mine or who is in alignment with me would never ask me to do that. And so there are uh, a lot of opportunities people would have easily canceled on someone for,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I just wasn't willing to do it. It didn't feel right to me, especially like your event or your appearance or yours no more important than my prom girl who only gets to have prom once, or my wedding client where, I mean, the idea is you're only getting married once, right? Like,
Right.
and
Right.
so these are big deals, or even down to a birthday, because my commitment, like my word is my bond. That is the type of person that I am through and through. And so when I commit to something, I mean it. And
Hmm.
so there are a lot of, in the very early stages, a lot of opportunities that I just passed up on because it just didn't align.
Right.
Angel Reese actually reached out to me.
Hmm.
So she got drafted to the Chicago Sky. She was coming to the Sky and she was looking to create a team of like service providers. And she actually DM'd me on Instagram and was like, hey, like, would you be willing to do my makeup soon? And I was like, sure, like you know, you can reach out to me and we can talk about details and we can see, you know, if it works, if I'm available, we can make it work. And so her management ended up actually reaching out to me and her management ended up reaching out to me and was like, hey, like we want you to fly to New York with us, and it was like in a couple of weeks, and I was like, are you like, here's that imposter syndrome, yeah, are you sure? We've never met, I've never glammed her, or what are you talking about? And keep and this is what's gonna kill you, Linda. They were asking me to glam her for the first time ever at the Met Gala.
Oh my gosh.
At the Met Gala. And not only that, here's another plot twist. I had to do her makeup on the private jet.
Oh my goodness.
I had to do her makeup on the private jet. I have never met this lady ever in my life. I am doing it for the Met Gala. This is her first Met Gala appearance. And she was like Anna Wintour's guest. Like she was a part of Vogue's, like she had just done her cover with Vogue. Like it was a
Wow.
big deal. And also you were not seeing female athletes in these
Right.
spaces, and so it was a very big deal. And this is my first time meeting this woman. And so, but we clicked from there. Obviously, I've been working with her for the past 2 years, and we have done some of everything you can think of: campaigns, video shoots, photo shoots, appearances, literally every carpets, like everything that you can think of. And then from that, I actually did Angel's Sports Illustrated cover,
Hmm.
and um, Sports Illustrated really enjoyed me on set. Like they emailed me and were like, "Hey, you know, like we really loved having you on set. You were amazing. Like you were so timely, professional, all the things, just singing the praise." And I was like, "Great, like thanks. Add me to your Rolodex. Keep me in
Hmm.
mind. Like it was great working with you guys too." And a few months later, they actually emailed me and was like, "Hey, are you still in Chicago? Like, we need someone to do glam for Simone Biles."
Wow.
Simone Biles, the
Mm-hmm.
goat
Wow.
herself. Like, what are
Yeah,
we talking
man.
about? And I'm like, you know, obviously me being me, I was like, let me check my schedule if it works, which is crazy. Everyone thinks like, obviously say yes, Deja, right? But I'm like, my first thought was like, do I have clients that day? Does it work? And so it ended up aligning. And this is what I mean about alignment, and things being meant for you will not miss you.
Hmm.
I was meant to be in those spaces at that time. And I learned so much about myself. I overcame fears. I learned so much about myself as a service provider. I learn the extremities in which I'm willing to go in
Yeah.
order to share my craft with someone and show up for what I do in my work. And so I ended up doing Simone's cover for Sports Illustrated for Woman of the Year. And we literally clicked. She was like, "What are you doing in a couple weeks?" And I was like, "What do you mean, Miss Simone Biles?" Which is so funny to think
Misspoke.
about now, because like we have a group chat and we like kiki and send TikToks and we're like girly pops together. But like, she was like, "What are you doing in a few weeks?" And I work in conjunction with, there's a hairstylist. His name is Justin Revenge. A
Mhm.
slight shout out. He is my sweetheart, my honey. If you don't know him, please check out his work. He has worked with me consistently with Angel in the beginning, and they actually asked him to come and do Simone with me. So it was perfect because we work, when I tell you, harmoniously.
Mhm.
It takes you being a beauty service provider to understand when you find your, as a makeup artist, when you find your hairstylist match, or as a hairstylist, when you find your makeup artist match, we work like we tango. Like
Mm.
we just understand each other, and that is like one of the best things you can have as a beauty service provider. When that relationship is cohesive and works, I mean, you make magic. Like it is insane, and people wouldn't think it to be that important, but it is so important.
Yeah.
um so they asked him to come back, and she asked us like, "Hey, what are you guys doing in a few weeks?" And we're like, "I don't know, what are you doing?" And she was like, "I'm actually, they asked me to come for the CMAs, the Country Music Awards in Nashville. Like, would you guys be willing to come with and glam?" And we were like, "Okay, yeah, like let's check the schedule, make sure everything aligns." It ended up working out, and we went and did that. And again, same thing. The rest was history. We've been doing every game day look with her. We have done the Country Music Awards. We did the Kentucky Derby. We've done all sorts of events,
Wow.
photo shoots, video shoots, all sorts of things. I have a lot of, I've been doing this for 10 years. I have clients who have been with me all 10 years. I have clients I've seen have babies, get married, graduate high school, graduate college, move out, live their lives. Like I've seen them through so many chapters of their lives. And so that is no different when it comes to my celebrity clientele. I'm seeing through them through a lot of different phases in their life, particularly like with Angel. She just started, when we first met, she was just starting out. And now who
Hmm.
she is as a young woman, I've seen her change so much, and I've been able to be there through so much of that. And it's fulfilling.
Yeah. Well, it's also part of your brand. It goes back to the branding. That's your brand. Your brand is not this. I'm only going to focus on what gives me visibility.
Yeah.
I'm focused on my clients. I'm focused on these people that trust me. And that also brings up the amazing point of what you have really built your beauty belief on, which is looking at it as a way of building confidence and building identity and really creating that space for people to be their authentic selves and feel really good about it. How, can you speak to that? Because that is really important to you. That is how you view beauty.
Yeah.
Beauty is, how do you do that? And what, because you also talked about being a tomboy and not ever doing
Yeah.
makeup. So what flipped that switch for you to say, this is actually what it does, and I'm going to make sure that I perpetrate that I
Yeah.
keep that moving forward.
I think it is, like I said, that intuitiveness too,
Hmm.
right? I'm able to, when a client comes into my studio, it is an experience from the moment not even the moment you walk in, from the moment that I send you a confirmation email and we're coordinating about wants or dislikes or whatever the case may be, until you step in and until you leave. Even after you leave, I'm following up with my clients like, how did your makeup wear? Did you have a good night? Like, it's a very close relationship. And I think that it has a lot to do with seeing people.
Mm.
We see people every day, right? I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, but I mean, like, really seeing people.
Mm.
Like, there is something that I can't quite explain other than it being an empathic thing, where I pay attention to the details. I'm very detail oriented. And so I'm paying attention to your expression, your posture, your, like, what is the energy you're bringing into the studio? And a lot of the times there are clients who come in and they're having a terrible, no good, bad kind of day.
Hmm.
And then they leave with a smile on their face, right? Like, I think that people need to be seen. We don't get to be seen often in our lives. Like, we
Hmm.
interact and we are passing by and we have our moments, but I mean, truly be seen, truly be asked, what is it that you want? What is it that you like? What is it that you don't like? And I think that that is my brand, my
Hmm.
experience, who I am inherently as a person. And so I think that people require to be seen and affirmed. And that is what I like to give my clients. Does that answer your
Hmm.
question?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Okay.
does. And also tapping into the fact that what do you what was it that sparked your belief though also about beauty as a way of building your confidence? Because a lot of times people do view the beauty business as this very surface level whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you have really devoted yourself to the fact that yeah, this is this, but what I'm doing is I'm empowering people. I am, pulling that out.
I think it has a lot to do with my arts background helps a lot in that particular area. That being said, it's because I don't look at every person as a cookie cutter. Okay, this is my technique. I'm doing eyebrows and then nose and then lips. And then I ask a lot of questions before you sit in my chair. What do you like? What do you not like? What are things you absolutely want in your glam, and what are things you absolutely don't? Are there tones that you prefer? Do you like more pinks, more mauves, more
Mm.
warm colors? Like, I'm asking a lot of questions. It's almost like a therapy session because I want to I'm only with you typically an hour to hour and a half.
Hmm.
But I'm trying in the very beginning to get as much information about you as I possibly can so that your glam is reflective of you and
Mm.
not just it being makeup. I want your makeup to feel you. I want you to feel so confident and good about this glam once you're done with me that when you have to wipe it off tonight, you're gonna cry because it just feels so good, right? Like, you feel so good, you feel so
Yeah.
confident. So it has a lot less to do with, yes, there's a end product, the glam, you're made up and the things that is makeup, that is what it does, but it also is an experience. So it's like the end product, the service you're paying for, coupled with the experience.
Yeah. Do you find yourself helping people find themselves? Because a lot of times, we think we know, but then we realize we don't really know what we're looking
Yeah,
for.
I'm good for a suggestion. And I
Okay.
always tell my clients, I like to be very honest with my clients. When they come in, sometimes they'll have reference images or particular eye looks or something that they want to do. And I'll tell them if I don't feel like it works with their particular, like, lid shape or eye shape or face shape or whatever the case may be, or the tones, maybe we do this tone instead of this because this will work with your undertones better or your complexion better. I'm very good at giving a suggestion.
Hmm. Now, what do you find about the service industry that is so unique? Because it is very different than, let's say, maybe working in the grad office at
Mhm.
DePaul and doing that. What what makes it such a unique way, and how is it different navigating that service? One to one personal kind of thing, dealing with the different personalities than it
it's
is kind of
it's
yeah.
it's so intimate and personal. Like,
Hmm.
I'm in someone's personal space, like, and oftentimes, like, people that I create a relationship with, but people I'm meeting for the first time, and I'm in your space. Like, it's a very intimate experience getting your makeup done. It's a
Yeah.
little different than hair, right? Because, like, or nails, because you're extended. They're kind of away from you.
Right. That's
There's
right.
not
That's
this,
true.
yeah, there's not this closeness. Or when someone's doing your hair, they're typically behind you. There's not this, when I'm doing your makeup, we are face to face. There are moments where I'm very close to you if I'm getting very detailed.
Hmm.
And so it is a very intimate experience. But I think it's the intimacy
Yeah.
of, I don't think people talk enough about the intimacy of makeup and
Yeah.
makeup servicing and being a makeup artist or a makeup servicer.
Yeah. Yeah. That is very different. That is a good point. Because
What job
here you're
do you,
back here, and
yeah,
then
what
you
job do
are
you
right.
do that creates that kind of intimacy, except,
Yeah.
I mean, like, being a doctor maybe, right? Like,
Yeah.
people are
Or
in your space
dentist
in
or
that way.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
a dentist, or like something where people are in your space. I mean, like,
Yeah.
if we
Right
breathe
there.
hard enough, you could feel my breath probably. And so it is a very intimate experience.
That's great. That's great. It's you know, I think that's probably one of the benefits if you are if you have something outside of what you do every day for a living, a lot of times, or that thing that you are doing for a living is your passion, that you are able to lose yourself in
Mm-hmm.
so that you can not be so immersed in something that might be difficult, that
Yeah,
you get lost in the difficult, and then it makes it hard to move forward. So
absolutely.
I'm glad that you have that. And I'm glad that what you do on a daily basis is also that salve for you, right?
Yeah.
It's so helpful. So what is next for Deja and Day the MUA?
So actually, I am getting more into teaching. I have been doing a lot more one-on-one classes this last year. I've been doing like online tutorials. I've been working with companies to do private like tutorials. That is something that I'm like getting into more, and I'm really enjoying it. Being able to give that to other people and like kind of share what makes me so happy and brings me
Mm,
joy in hopes that it'll bring them joy, or they'll find their niche or their thing and they're like, oh, I actually love makeup artists. Because I mean makeup, because obviously like I said, makeup was a happy accident for me, and I mean it could be a happy accident for anybody. And so that is the next for me, is that I'm doing a lot more classes. I'm going to actually start doing it on a wider scale, something
okay.
more. No one is privy to this, so you're getting a scoop, but
Mhm.
I'm going to start doing classes, group classes that create a more cost-effective option for people to learn how to do makeup, more access, but also, like giving back to my community in a way, and
Mm.
also allowing women, men, anyone to feel confident in these spaces and in the beauty space, and also just like try something new, learn
Yeah.
something new, try your hand at something. We don't take enough classes. I think we're starting to get into it a little more, but
Hmm.
take a class that you've never taken before.
I love it. I love it.
Learning how to navigate burnout. And I say navigate burnout because you cannot avoid burnout. We all experience it. It is a rite of passage. It happens, it waxes, it wanes, it comes up in different spaces, and it's not something you can really avoid. But what we can do is learn how to navigate it in a healthy way. Some of my points for navigating that is doing, for me, doing a no pressure creative look. It gives me a opportunity to do something without eyes being on me or expectations being set for me, to be able to just do what I love, and that's being creative. So in any space, do what you do, but do it at no cost. Do it because you want to, do it because you can. Another one would be to step away from beauty content. We're in a space right now where everything is a deliverable, or it is on a timeline, or it is a requirement, or it has these specific modifications, that you step away from that and do something that's more private. Like do something private for yourself. Another is that has really been helping me with my burnout is giving myself something to look forward to. I don't care if it is a matcha at the end of the week, or a new book, or going for a walk in your favorite park, or going to sit down with your grandma because you love spending time with your grandma. Like, find something that is for you and you only, that is going to bring you joy, no matter how minuscule it might feel. It is going to do wonders for you. If you do that, I need to give myself one thing to look forward in the week that is for me and for me only. Um, Another is to change your environment. Put yourself in different spaces. Put yourself in different spaces, because it's like the idea of the more brains and the more eyes, the better the result, right? Like, put yourself somewhere you haven't been. If you are stuck at a desk every day, there's no way that that imagination is working. There's no way that you're going to get out of that confinement. If you are in studio like me every day and you're just doing that, and you're doing the clients, and you go home, and put yourself somewhere new. Find, I don't know where the space is, go to a yoga class, go on a day trip, take the train and just sit on the train and look out the window. You never know what you're going to find. So put yourself in a different environment. And then I think, am I on my fifth one?
You're on your
Okay.
fifth one. The next one's your fifth one.
Okay, my fifth one is reconnect with why you started doing what you were doing. For me, I love art, and so with my little brothers, I go to pottery classes with them. Or when I see them drawing, we'll do like little drawing competitions, and having them around has really reignited my childlike imagination, and I feel like it's been reflective in my professional work, because I'm using crayons again, and pens and colored pencils, and I could not tell you the last time that I've picked some of those things up. it has really changed the way that I show up in my professional space because I'm reconnecting with why I'm starting. And also to further that is feed your inner child. That we all have one. We all have a little me, a little you that live inside of us. Feed her or him or them and make sure that they're taken care of and that they're being seen because they exist.
That is great. I
Thank you.
love
I love the Misfit Minute. That is such a
it. You
good.
like
I
that?
love that. Yes.
Now, okay, now rapid five. You ready?
Okay, I'm
We are going to
ready.
do the rapid five with Deja. First one is, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a professional editorial photographer.
Whoa, that
Yeah.
is so specific. Were you
Yes.
into like reading magazines and stuff like that?
Yes.
And
Yes.
oh my gosh.
I wanted to be hired by Vogue, and I kind of was in a different way, right? Like I'm being
Mhm.
hired by a lot of my favorite or like a lot of my vision board companies and spaces and celebrities in a different way. I thought it would be as a photographer, but now I'm still in the space, the beauty space, but kind of on the back end, in the background, creating the looks, creating the energy and the concept and the the overall
Yeah,
like feel. And so I kind of ended up in that space in a different way.
you did. Whoa. Okay, what always makes you smile?
Um, something that always makes me smile is dark humor.
Okay, I'm so with you.
I love someone who can receive and give dark humor. Life is too short. Life is too serious. I love a joke that takes you by surprise, and you're like, actually, that was really funny. And I don't know if we should be laughing at it, but I'm going to. And I love that.
I do too. Okay, so when I was a kid, my parents gave me this book called Beastly Boys and Ghastly Girls, and
I feel like I've heard of that.
it's all these amazing poems from Britain and all over the world that have about these terrible, terrible children. I still have the book, and
I would.
I'm of a certain age, and I think I got it when I was like 10. I
Okay.
still have that book. One of these days, I'm gonna have to find it. You would love it.
Oh
Okay.
my God, please,
It's
please,
so
please
good.
send.
It's so good. Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Okay. What do you know now as an adult that you wish you knew as a kid?
You're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. And even in the not figuring it out, that's figuring it out. You're learning
Nice.
something. Nothing is
Wow.
a waste of time. Nothing is idle. Even in the dark times or in moments where you didn't see an end, you learn something about yourself. You learn something about how you interact with yourself, how you interact with others. Um, there's always something to be learned. So I would say that.
Oh my God. And what you heard me do that was, oh my gosh, I am so there with you.
You're
Wow.
gonna figure it out. And
Yeah.
think about it, the things that you thought were like the world ending, you don't even think twice about now. I often try to tell myself, are you gonna think about this in 6 months? Are you gonna think about this in a week? Is it you're sometimes I saw a quote that I've been like living by lately. Do not cause yourself suffering twice. Sometimes
Wow.
there's a lot of things in our life that we cannot control, right? There you fall, you scrape your knee. Now you have a scar or it hurts or it burns or whatever. There are gonna be things in your life that you cannot control that may not be the best, right? But there's no reason we should ruminate on it. Feel it, feel your feelings, move through it. You cannot move around it, you cannot move over it, move through it because that's how you release. That's how you
Yeah.
experience, you feel, and you release.
Good. Oh man. Okay. What is your guilty pleasure?
Ooh, my guilty pleasure. A spa day or a staycation. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I feel so guilty about it sometimes because I'm like, girl, you pay rent every month. Why are you going to a hotel downtown, like a mile away from where you live? Listen, but I think that also has a lot to do creatively. I like to put myself in different spaces. So I want to try something new. I want to be immersed in a new space. I love self-care. That is who I
Mm.
am through and through. Beauty is an extension of that. Also, I love skincare. I love health. I love like that. I love wellness in general. And so that kind of comes from that is like there are sometimes hotels or Airbnbs or places that I go that are on my wish list, and I try to give myself like every couple months I'll go somewhere new.
Mm.
And it allows me to just be in a space other than my home or my studio, or and it refreshes me, to be honest. Like it gives me I go home with a smile on my face and I'm like, that was so nice, I needed that, like it was such a good time. So I think yeah, a staycation or a spa day is my guilty pleasure for sure.
Okay. And then the final one is cat or dog?
Animal. Any
I like that.
animal.
Yeah.
Any animal at all. I am an animal girl through and through. Growing up, I've had all sorts of pets. Like I love horseback riding. Me and my partner were actually supposed to go cow cuddling when we were in DC. It was too cold for us to go though. So, but me and my brothers, I just got them guinea pigs. I love animals. I've had birds, ferrets, fish, anything you can think of. I am not a reptile girl quite yet.
We'll get
I
you there. We'll
I
get
do
you
want
there.
a little lizard or a gecko or something, but I love animals. So any animal, I can't choose.
Okay, so when you're out to LA, I'm not going to say if, but when you're out
Okay.
to LA,
Yes.
is we have the cow hugging out here. I remember our weather is kind of consistent.
It,
So we tend to be a little consistent.
yeah.
So we're going to have to, okay, we're going to have to work that out for
Oh
you.
my
I
God,
love this.
yes. I would
Yes.
absolutely love that. I love
Okay.
animals. So yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Deja. This has been
You.
fantastic. Thank you so much. And for all of you out there, please check out Deja on Instagram. Go to her website, which is DeyThaMUA.com. And I'll even tell you how to spell it. DeyTha. M as in Mary, UA, not moi, but MUA.com. Check her out. Amazing stuff. Again, Deja, thank you for today. Thank you for joining us. And all of you, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast. This was amazing. I love that you guys are creating a space in which people get to show up authentically and have hard conversations, fun conversations, chit chat. I am so excited about this. I'm so excited to see all the episodes after this. And I'm glad that you guys had me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody.